I don't care what anybody says. I love the music to Send in the Clowns. It is one of my favorites. Joan Collins does a beautiful rendition of it. Barbara Streisand does. I was listening to Joan Collins. I was doing my laundry and doing it over and over. The music, playing it. Beautiful music. It really does something to me. I apologize. I don't like a lot of today's music. It's not good. Hey, look at that. The Egg Warrior. Can you remember? Chickens and a pug. Hey, chicken, did you see my post? I gave that to you because of your love for your animals. That old man singing to Babe when Babe wasn't feeling well. Hello, Vendetta. Hello, Jess. Look at that. All the finest are coming in. I like that. We got some things to talk about. We're going to have some fun tonight. We might even involve you chatters in a silly little game I came up with. We'll make up some gossip fun stories and, imagine people doing everything that they wouldn't do. But I don't mean anything rude or inappropriate. But thought we could have fun with that. Well, we'll see how it goes. So, Georgia governor has declared a state of emergency effective tomorrow. Here we go again. Now they're calling for snow. And I'm already noticing that it was supposed to start at 9. Now it's bumped up to 10. The low that was going to be 15 is now up to 17. And I just checked and it's now up to 18 for Sunday. I'm going, well, good. Let this thing just go right around us again. And Mob Rules is looking at 7 to 8 inches of snow. And I think he said, I don't remember if he said, was it 7 below? Oh boy, winter's descended on the south. It is, Jess, absolutely. I'll have to look at that chicken. I'm going to sound sappy, but I'm just going to say it. I love the movie, Babe. I cried when that little piggy and Mama was taken away from him. Hello, Ricky. There's snow in places, yeah. Cold, frozen cornfields of southern Indiana, they're calling for 12 to 18 inches of snow for the Ohio River Valley. Oh boy. Yeah, Babe was cute. That was a cute show. That stupid goose, duck, whatever it was. That was so funny. Remember when the cat and the pig made a big old mess all through the house? Actually, the cat got blamed for it, or the pig got blamed for it. It was the cat. That was funny. The cat was not very nice. I love that house in the movie, Babe. If I could have a house that would sum up me, oh my gosh, I would love to have the house. 7 generations. Douglas, that's awesome. The 50s had some good stuff. Yeah, 40s and 30s. Oh man, I love swing. I like that 1920s. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits, putting on the Ritz. But the house in Babe was legendary. That was just cool. That was just cool. And I had a good day after my Tell It Hard All video this morning. Today, it says in the Bible, his mercies are new every morning. Hello, Stereo Stupid. How are you? I'm Stereo Stupid. I love stereo. Thank you, Cornelius. I think mostly everybody here is a Christian. But things went much better today. Sometimes God shocks us. Yeah, Shadow. And now, when I was a kid, I was shielded from all of that. Mainly because, I was a child and my folks did not put us near that stuff. More snap peas or what? Look at that. Oh, now that's a bonus. Look at that. Now more snap peas and water chestnuts. Oh, now that's awesome. Instead of scribbling on the back, you give me more. Sweet. I love that song though. Da 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 da. Descend in the clouds. Hey, I eat healthy, King, always. I'm doing sitting at the Ritz. How are you? So I got some good news. I think it happened a week ago and a judge let him out, but look at this. Somebody got arrested today. I think it rhymes with that. Did you all hear about that? Anybody hear about that? Let me give you a hint. Let's zero that beautiful bean footage in. Look at that. He got arrested today. Isn't that awesome? That's long overdue, man. Long overdue. You do not have a right to invade a place of faith. You do not have a right to bring your protests and your crap in there. Absolutely not. Hey, Torta, it was good. How are you? Oatmeal and a banana for dinner? Well, hey, that's all right. Don Lemon was arrested. I think it's awesome. He organized and was heading up that protest in a church. That was just stupid. I got no tolerance for that. Leave the church alone. Can you imagine if a bunch of white people went and interrupted a mosque? Don Sours lemon peel, yep. Fried zucchini steaks, now that sounds good. Look, I went to Aldi's today and stocked up on my cheese. You would think there was a snow apocalypse coming. I went to Aldi's, crowded. Went to Food Lion, crowded. I was like, what gives? When they talk about something in the South, man, everybody freaks out. But these protesters in Minneapolis, well, that's pretty much where it's at. No, I don't. I don't remember that, Stereo. George, I don't know. I was complaining this morning about some things that bother me. Unfortunately, sometimes God allows a lot of suffering, and we cannot blame him for that. It'd be nice if God was a helicopter parent and kept all these bad things, but it doesn't work in our favor if he does that. What did I pay for this? $1.49 for all these cheese slices. These things are good. I buy this. I bought 2 of them, the sharp cheddar knees. If I could get off my screensaver here. How about this? This is good stuff. I like their cheese slices. And I like the Purdue ground chicken. I like to cook this up. Italian seasoning, spice it up with garlic powder, a little salt, a little oil. Once it cooks down, that's good stuff. Isn't it love? The left day are clouds. You know, I could chicken. I could. When was this? Was this recently, Stereo? With Bush's baked beans. I love that commercial with the dog. Roll that beautiful bean footage, and the dog's always trying to steal the sequence. That's funny. Bush's baked beans. The only problem with baked beans, I love them, but they are loaded with so much sugar. Down here in the South, they like sweet tea. I've never had it. Basically, it's tea that's just loaded with sugar. You know, I'm more Oriental myself because I like regular tea when I was in Hong Kong. Yeah, gas. Man, the other day, I was at work. There was a guy in the receiving. And I like to make noises. I'm like an adult kid. You know, sometimes I'm just so busy doing something. People just look at me. You all right? I'm good, man. I just happy. Make a joyful noise. And the other day I went, what did I do? I can't even, that was it. And I did it so loud, so long. The guy who was sitting at the computer, he turned around and lost it. He goes, wow, that was a good one. I said, that wasn't real. I did it with, are you serious? I thought you blew your pants. I said, no, I just did it with my mouth. I'm like, that was just such a breaker, man. That was awesome. Look, people are too serious. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just got to do it. I like to go to Walmart and pick up the intercom. Attention, Walmart shoppers. We have a rollback on toilet paper. Oh my gosh. And what is it about us that it doesn't matter how many years go by, how advanced we get, we still laugh at the human fart. The kids do it. My mother used to get very irritated. She would just blow up about it. Like, well, I think that's why my mother was so uptight. She tried to hold it in and she brought it. Now, I admit, I would not like to see a pretty lady go by and go, I'd be like, we all tend to get mad at God. God's done it. We tend to get upset with him. It's normal. It's human. But it takes growing and faith for us to realize God is not the author of all that. He really is not. God is, he sent his son so that we could have eternal life. The hardest thing for us to realize is that this world is temporary. We do not get that in our craw. We get so bogged down with this earth that we sometimes forget that God is preparing us for a better place. I don't understand. When I work with handicapped people, there are times when I say, God, why would you do that to somebody? Why'd you make somebody who cannot do anything but sit in a wheelchair, drool on themselves, and make an occasional noise? I'm like, why did you do that? It's not that God did that. God didn't make that happen. You know, people get things wrong. You remember when they brought the blind guy to the Lord, and people, the religious people said, Master, who sinned, this man or his parents? He said, neither. but this is so that you could see the wonders and the works of God. Hello, Matthew. Oh, got you, stereo. Okay. God doesn't get a pass, remember? He does not get a pass. I'm going to take the high road. We don't understand God. We're very limited in our understanding. We have a belief, and it's rooted in us, and it's a selfish view. We have a belief that we should not suffer. We have a belief that if I'm a Christian and God is good, that, the FAO Short song should be playing. Toys, everything's good. And we don't like suffering. None of us does. I don't know anybody who says, oh, wow, I want to suffer excruciatingly today. I want to get in a car wreck. I want my wife to divorce me. I want my teenager to rebel, my house to burn to the ground. I want the loan to be denied. Yeah, I don't think anybody gets up and says, wow, I'm a sadist. Let's bring it on. We avoid it like the plague. But as much as I hate to say it, how else do we become strong? How do we get strong? Yes, we have a limit, and it's okay to go to God and tell him, Lord, I don't like this. I stay away from Christians who got these pat, tongue-in-cheek answers. I get so tired of that. It's like, well, I'm glad you're not going through all that. But, I'm not gonna get on the spiritual kick and act like things don't bother me. I wish I could, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that at all. Things do bother me. I'm human. You're human. And all we can do sometimes just drag our butt out of bed, go to work, deal with life. But I want to say something. I prayed last night. I vented on my video this morning about stuff at work. Today went well. And I just said, okay, God, you blessed me today. Thank you. It's one day at a time, folks. We laugh sometimes at some of that Southern music, but Patsy Cline said it. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's all we have. I worry. I think, oh man, I don't want a storm. I don't want the pipes to freeze. I don't want... Why do you worry about your life? He just says in the book of James, go to now, you who say today or tomorrow we'll go do this or that, spend money, go to this city. You do not even know that your life is but a vapor. Do I have to say this again? This morning it was cold. I had to fire up the forklift, get some pallets out of one of the trailers, get them over to my end of the building, fire up that diesel case, old school. It's a backhoe, except forklift. And I fired that thing up, and it was sluggish. The power steering was a little bit rough as it was warming up. It's freezing. I could see my breath in the air. And God says your life is but a vapor. That's it. You think about that. Our life is but a vapor. Just go, that's it. And God is trying to give us perspective on that. In this body, Paul calls this our tent. We suffer, and it sucks because it hurts. We want it to end. We've been addicted to consumerism. We've been addicted to TV and the Hollywood and the lies, and they dangle things at us. I want to show you something when I get this mixed up. I want to show you something that's just unbelievable. This is our world, man. I'm going to show you an advertisement. I get the what do you call it? The little circulars that come that show you the coupons at the store. sales, not even coupons anymore, but sales or whatever. And there's one for a, heating and cooling company. Winter tune your furnace. I want to read you. This is how sad our world is. And I'm also going to tell you what I've learned. This ad is just an example of the ignorance of people. Hey, Mr. Russell. Hello, Backwoods Gaming. How is everybody? Hello, Tennessee. Can you remember you bring up some hard stuff? Do Christians commit suicide? I don't know. I've never known one that did. The Bible says God will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you can endure. Tempted. Tempted to sin. I read a book, it was a paperback. Harlan Popov was arrested, I believe, in Russia way, way back in the day. A pastor. They tortured him and everything. You were not allowed to have a church in Russia under the communist rule. And some of the things these guys went through was awful, to say the least. And I don't even want to think about going through that. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. Sometimes God brings us through excruciating stuff. Read Fox's Book of Martyrs. Crafty lady, that's a good question. God is not testing us to see what we can do. Look at Job. Job had no idea what was going on. He was blessed. One day his whole life just went, yo, Job, your donkeys got carried off, your camels, your livestock. Oh, by the way, your sons and daughters were in the house and the wind blew the roof and killed them all. And Job tears his clothes, sackcloth and ashes. And then Satan says, God, skin for skin. God, a man will give all that he has for his health, his skin. So he is afflicted with boils from head to toe and scraping himself with broken pottery. Doesn't that sound like fun? In all this, Job did not sin. Wow, I haven't even been through that, and I've sinned. I have run my mouth up the flagpole and cussed at God. And I've never even gone through anything like what Job did. The devil wants us to think that God is not good. Hey, Carter, hello, username. See, Rick Warren, I have a problem with him. He's got Rick Warren's a multimillionaire. He presented a view of God that is not scriptural. I read The Purpose-Driven Life. A lot of it is BS. Now, let me give a caveat to that. When we are saved, our life has purpose. But it doesn't always go the way you and I think it ought to go. Some people, what about Nigerian Christians that get beheaded? Do we even grasp that? Our problems here in America are pretty small compared to some places around the globe where you become a Christian, you can lose your life. Hey, John, I am doing good. Hello, Dana. Hello, Miranda Lee. Hello, John Hartley. When we're hurting, when we're in pain, we should lash out at God. Why does it seem like some Christians have all the blessings, never seem to have any problems, and they're some of the rudest? Let's get real here. Why is it some Christians who are trying to do right, trying to be kind to everybody, take it in the shorts? I don't know. It's getting colder. They got our governor declared a state of emergency starting tomorrow to February 7th. I'm like, why do they do that? They called off school for Monday based on the fear of the ice storm coming. It never happened. So let's ask a question. The weathermen, the meteorologists were saying we're going to get it. Were the weather people wrong? Or did my praying to God make it go away? Or the praying to many Christians to God? Which is it? I have the power within me to make a storm go away. No, I don't. Can God hear my prayer and say, I think Augusta's been through enough with Hurricane Helene? I think so. I've never read that, Stereo. But something else I was going to bring up. I wanted to put this just for kicks and giggles. The left is clowns. I'm not apologizing for that. If you want to put blame somewhere, see if I get my head in there just right. Like my new hair, ladies, I got to get my head in there just right. Hey, Toad Hunter. Well, let's ask this. Remember, let's ask this, everybody. You got Johnny with the Harrisburg High School football team. He's a Christian. And you got Thomas and the Clarksburg High School football team, and they're going to have a game against each other. Thomas is a Christian. And they're both praying that they will win and their team will win and God will give them the victory. How does that work? Did God fail one and bless the other? Think about that. Is God obligated to answer our prayers that we win the game? No, he isn't. He is not. Not at all. There you go. You have a little fairy pony now. I'm doing this to be funny. Is it trivial, remember? God says he knows the number of hairs on your head and mine. Can you remember 10, 15 phone numbers? Back in the day, maybe. Now they're all in your contacts. You don't remember it, you just push their name. God knows the number of the hairs on my head. Do you know there is no way that I could count the number of hairs on my head? There's no way I could do that. How do we love the unlovely? Those people who really, really get to us. They're really good in our grill. I don't know. What I can say is it takes an act of God. Then it's good that we have questions. Not everything's in a nice, neat little box. It's not. That is actually a pretty painting. I'm not into gay unicorns, but I like the colors in that. But you know what? It's okay to ask questions like that. These people protesting in Minneapolis. Hello, Nicole. How are you? They actually think they're standing up for the right thing. Nothing could be further from the truth. Like I said this morning, we live in a godless world. Well, hello from Washington State. I lived in Spokane for some years. Why don't we experience the same amount of pain in this life? What do you mean, remember? I think everybody experiences different levels of it. And that's why we need to be careful. It's easy to get all boastful and think, oh, that ain't nothing. Don't ever do that to somebody. That's just raw. What you think is no big deal to you may be a real struggle for them. Oh, okay, Nicole. I was in Seattle a short time, many, many years ago. And that's what I alluded to, remember, because there are some people who it seems like everything's just blessing street. And let's establish some facts. Number one, God is not a vending machine. He's not a celestial Santa. He's the everlasting God. He put his son on the cross for us. Why did he do that? He could have just saved us, but he didn't. Just like when the people sinned, God sent them, I think they got bit by the snakes. Then they cried out to God. And God told Moses, make a bronze serpent, put it on a pole. And when they look up till they be healed, and it wasn't worshiping the snake. That was a picture of looking up to Christ. Why did God choose to do it that way? Because he's God. Why did somebody choose to make a pickup truck the way it is? Why did Frank Lloyd Wright make the kind of homes he did? His homes were, by the way, ahead of their day. Very impressive architecture. One of my favorite properties is Fallingwater. The guy was brilliant. Nicole, you're absolutely right. Seattle's so blue that it's bled all over the state. I did a video not too long ago talking about Portland, Oregon, and Seattle seems to be a draw for the largest amount of malcontent Caucasian people that are all over the board, off base, to riot, to dance in the streets and yell about everything. Someone was just laughing at the way I dressed. It was really embarrassing. How did you dress, Hampton? You know, Seattle's out there. I wanted to live there once, but God drove me out of there. I know why now. Can you remember? That'd be out of line for me to take it personal. There is nothing wrong with a question. And I don't like it when you sit under preachers that want to belittle somebody for asking those. We need to rationally make a reason, not make, give a reason for the faith. It's not a check your brains at the door faith. Wow, lady, I'll tell you what. Kansas City. Are you in the Missouri or the Kansas side? That's right, lady. That's right, Backwoods. Leavenworth County. I went to Kansas City a long time ago on my way to Duluth when I moved there, 1989. That seems so long ago. That to me was an epic move. Hey Lupe, how are you? And lady, it's good to see you at the live. I wasn't sure if you'd be here. Please pray for Iraq. He works at a job doing manufacturing. Iraq is a big, muscular man. And he does not have an easy job. That's him and his wife right there standing in my living room last September. He has to put his body weight into bending these steel panels because the machine doesn't quite do it good enough. One of his other guys didn't show up. And the guys that are supposed to work with him, playing with their phones, screwing around. And it's like I was talking about this morning. When you're a good worker in today's world, you get the short end of the stick. The screwballs waste company time. I remember a day and age when you screwed around at work, you got fired. I lived in those days. You watched it. When I started driving a school bus in Duluth, Minnesota, the boss was very strict. He could fire you for a simple accident. Now today you see people just blazingly wrong. Yeah, Miranda Lee, it's sad. All of you have experienced. All of you have gone to work. All of you have seen the nasty, nasty woman, the nasty guy, the rude woman. They act up. They get away with stuff. Nothing ever happens. And then you're called in the office, your supervisor's criticizing, and you're like, what the heck did I do? It is a mind blower. But guess what? Even this YouTuber has no idea what heaven is like. We go through our stuff down here with limited knowledge, limited understanding. We've read the Bible, many of us. But we still struggle believing. I did. Wednesday, I went to bed believing God was good. Hey, Audrey, how are you? That's right, Backwoods. Pray for Iraq. You know, I'm going to say it. He's working hard so his wife can finish her schooling. She works with mentally ill patients. It's very hard work. One of the patients, for no reason at all, attacked her. Her coworkers had to literally gouge into his eyes to get him off. The security guy did absolutely nothing. There's a lawsuit. And she gets up and goes to her job. Even though that caused some scar tissue, she did nothing wrong. That's her. That does not look like a threatening face. And that man loves his wife. It is amazing. He loves her and talks highly of her. I appreciate that. I didn't go through that. Yes, lady. Eric and Amber. They came down here when I lost my job. And I met them because while I was unemployed, I had bought this chest of drawers at the flea market. The back was all onion peeled and shredded. That thin paneling, I still got some left. It's furniture, wood. And I took the back off, pulled the nails, and put a brand new sheet on there. Very heavy maple. I sanded the drawer fronts, sanded the body of the cabinet, sanded the knobs down to blonde. Then I put the gray stain on the dresser drawers. Then I varnished everything twice. E-Rock said, I want to buy that for my wife's birthday. And can I buy it? And I said, absolutely. He came down here. I was going to take him and his wife to lunch. Oh no, he paid for that. He kicked in $20 extra on that piece of furniture. Then I was going to keep it for me, but I was in flux. I didn't know if I'm going to have to sell my house and move. You know, I lost my job. And it warms my heart to know that that is Amber's dresser, and she loves it. That a piece of my craftsmanship is in their home. Stereo, well said. Well said. That was a very nice visit at a time in my life where I was just shocked that I got fired. I was not ever a bad employee, ever. The woke world that we live in. It's interesting to realize that in the old days of school in America, the Bible was very much a part of the education. Hello, Mina. How are you? Mina Sangita. That's me. I took a picture of the photograph. It's on the dresser. That's me in the Philippines in 2008. My hair was really short. I haven't heard from her in several days. She left a message in this chat that was disturbing. She may be leaving the world. She fell in her house and hit her head so hard on a concrete wall, she fell downstairs. A variety of things took place. She had health issues. She got sepsis. They had to do a brain surgery. Her eyes were hurting when the light was bright. And then she was coming fine. And then one day she just, some sort of a relapse. Yeah, Dana, it shocks me how 1 minute things are fine and that quick, any of us. I want to encourage everybody to realize life is not fair. We know that. There's times I've really gotten mad about that. Seems that wicked people are blessed. The Bible says that. King David cried out. He cried out about that. Why did the wicked prosper? He went on and on. I can't remember the psalm. But why do the wicked prosper? They do. Look at the celebs. Look at the flaky world around us. Everything works for them. But you got to remember. And that's what the enemy wants, is us to believe that God is against us. God likes suffering. God is... The Bible says he disciplines those he loves. Judgment first begins with the house of God. All those people out there having a good time, you're not going to want to be on their shoes when that day comes. Because the first 30 seconds in hell is really going to give them perspective that guess what? You're going to be here forever and ever and ever and ever. No one cares about your stardom or your songs or your movies or your Heisman trophies or your Super Bowl rings or your college degrees. Yes, Audrey. Hello, Richard. I am okay for a Friday night. We're on the eve of another storm forecast for tomorrow. We just went through this last week. Now, I'm not so naive that I think, oh, my prayer magically made the storm go away, but I did pray. I said, God, please don't send us that ice. It's too cold. I don't need the furnace not to work. And that's not just for me, but there's old ladies in this town, old people. They're not used to the cold. We don't need this. We had Helene, and he didn't send it. Mitch, and to a degree, you're right. There are no easy answers to the suffering. And nothing rubs salt in the wound more is when somebody comes up and says, well, you just need to learn to praise God. Say that one more time. When somebody's suffering, you don't walk into their presence and go, it's a beautiful morning. You don't do that. What does the Bible say? Grieve with those who grieve. Mourn with those who mourn. Time and a place. Even if you can't understand what they're going through because you didn't go through it, you can be empathetic. And sometimes the best thing to do, put an arm around them. Say, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm sorry. And I'm here. We have to realize as Christians, and I believe everybody will back me up on this. Jesus said, marvel not that the world hates you. It hated me first. It hated Christ first. Look at the religious Pharisees. They were supposed to be close to God. They taunted him. They called him master patronizingly. Oh, he cast out demons by the power of Beelzebub, another name for Satan. I could just see him. Really? So if I cast out demons by the power of Satan, how do you think that's going to work? House divided will fall. Stupid people. Hey, Christ follower. Humans are losing their empathy, Kathleen, and it says that. The love of many will grow cold. I was laying there in my bed last night, and you know what hit me again? I have nobody here in this town that has my back. Nobody. No one. I have some acquaintances. Really, lady. That's, wow. The first thing that hell is that I do know is this. Your phone's not acting up. Bear with me. Total darkness. Total darkness. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. The worm dieth not. But thank you, crafty lady. Thank you. Do you know what that means? Christ's follower nailed it. Separated from God. The Bible says the rain falls on the just and the unjust. That even though people shake their fist against God, I don't need God. They can experience His presence. They can reach out and cry out to Him if they're in tune to the Spirit and get saved. Once you are in outer darkness and cast in hell, that's it. There's no chance for seconds. Hey, Sharon, is that Sharon? I don't want to say that wrong. That's a cool name. Hell is a real place. It absolutely is. Lady, absolutely. We as Christians need to be careful. That when somebody goes through something, that we don't trivialize it. That we don't try to be all pious. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just say, look, I don't know what it must be like that you're going through, but I'm sorry you're going through it. Because people are moved when you genuinely care. A lot of Christians don't know how to show that anymore. When you care about somebody, that is a loud and clear thing that they get. Yeah, I'm not a fan, Mitch, of AI. I see nothing but dangerous things already. People, instead of being original like me and just having a YouTube channel, now they got to use AI. It's sad. Audrey, it can seem like it. But hell is referred to as the lake of fire. And it was created for the devil and the angels when they fell and turned away from God. And I've heard even my mother and other well-meaning but wrong people say a loving God would never send anybody to hell. He doesn't. People reject God and choose to go there themselves. I love the sound of that train. I love the sound of trains when they're close enough, but they're not too close where it wakes you out of your sleep. I love the sound of that train blowing its horn. Mitch, is sad though. Do you like all that fake stuff? I don't. I like real. The reason many of you are here on my channel is because you're people of depth. You don't want fake. You don't want artificially generated. Most of our society has operated off of that for decades now. You look at most YouTubers on there, and they're not going to talk about the things I'm talking about. They're not going to do it. And I'm not boasting on myself. I am doing the complete opposite of how to be successful. I put my personal business out there. And I do that for a reason, not to whine and elicit sympathy and get everybody to feel sorry for it. That's not why I do it. I do it because for the longest time, Christians seem to act like they're not really human. And people get tired of the used car salesman approach to God. God is not interested in us becoming used car salesmen. He wants us to have a vibrant, passionate relationship with Him that when people get around us, in spite of our flaws, they see something different and they want that. I overheard my supervisor tell somebody the other day, I cannot teach somebody the right attitude, and I cannot teach somebody work ethic. You either have it or you don't. And I agree. I agree. Hey, Tish, how are you? And I apologized the other night. Colette accidentally bumped her phone and did something where you got, hidden. And E-Rock was able to pull you back out of it. That was not intentional. Colette came into the room. She's very sick. Her eyes are having a hard time. She's trying to type. She's finally able to get out a message. I don't know what's happened to her. I look at Discord every day and there's no message. Well, thank you, Tish. And I don't want to take away her wrench when she's going through this, but part of me is like, a couple of people accidentally got blocked by her, and one we couldn't get back. And Amy, who was very nice, and I'm like, I might have to pull that wrench because she's bumping things and people getting bumped off the channel. I don't even know if she's listening to us. When she was recovering, she said, I couldn't type, but I just listened. And she'd leave me a message on Discord, but I haven't had one in several days. Do you guys remember seeing movies where they show these robots that have artificial intelligence and they take over? Do you remember stuff like that? What I think is going to happen is AI is going to be instrumental. You know, scientists are trying to take and marry robotics with humanity. Hey, how you doing, Haywood? And welcome. I think that it talks about in the tribulation, there's going to be the Antichrist. You know, we talk about the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Well, you got Satan. You've got the Antichrist. And you got the false prophet. And it talks about an image of the beast. And AI could be very much part of all that. Well, hey, Mob, how are you? I've never heard that song. How's Nene, Mob, and how are you? Are you in Ohio going to get slammed with snow again? In the year 2525. Go ahead, Mitch. Hello, Mark. How are you? Fred Hinkle said they're looking at substantial snow in the Ohio River Valley where he has in Indiana. Haywood, I live in Georgia, and this is Knotty Pine tongue and groove from the 50s that I salvaged out of the house, flipped it over, turned it this way. I bought this old 100-year-old door for $10, and I decided to just have fun. I tore this whole wall down, reframed it. The studs were bowed. And the door was all the way over here to the left. And I centered the door and I made that a bedroom. My roommate had lived in that bedroom when she was here. Thank you, Tish. You got 14.8. Where are you at again, Mark? iRobot, yep. I vaguely remember. I didn't see it, but I remember that. Tesla robots. Thank you, Haywood. I taught myself, and I'm not done with the house, but I'm about 85%. Yeah, some people thought it was a sauna. I know I could build a sauna after doing this. I am going to be right back. Michael needs to make a deposit in one of his porcelain accounts. Stereo, yeah, we'll talk about that. Hold that thought. I will be back. I apologize, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. I've had women over the years tell me they get tired of men sending pictures of their downstairs anatomy to them. And you know, I wanted you all to know that I don't do that, but I just wanted to show everybody mine. Isn't that beautiful? You get it? I'm trying to avoid saying the word here because it's funny, YouTube is getting on stuff like that. E-Rock, are you in the house? So Mom says her nature call is 25.5 minutes here after my, what? I'm missing something here. You see that, Miranda? You like that? It's rather large. It's very colorful too. Z Ellis. When I was on Facebook, I said, ladies, y'all tell me that you don't like it when men will send you pictures of their COCK, but I thought because you guys have been so nice, I thought I'd show you a picture of mine. Oh my gosh, the women laugh so hard. They're like, that's funny. Terrible laugh out loud. Well, I was in the Philippines a couple times, and I'm here to tell you, there are roosters all over the place there that they crow all night long. I thought that they crowed only when the sun went up. Nope, that is not the case. They crow all the way up. I actually paid attention in the 2 weeks I was there. Somewhere between 2 and 3:30 in the morning, they knock it off. They quit it. But they go all night. And there's so many of them. I mean, the village is full of them. That and barking dogs. Lots of dogs. And they just run loose. There was a woman I talked to on Yahoo Chat many, many, many years ago when I was living in Spokane. That was another town. I was pretty alone for a while. And there was a gal in the Philippines. I don't remember where she lived, but way in the village somewhere. Way off the beaten path. Her name was Sheila. And I have my laptop on. And Sheila would... she'd message me and we'd chat. And she would send me the Yahoo emojis where it was a cat. And I'm like in the bathroom, I hear hissing, and I'm like, what is going on? I go out and it's her. I said, oh my gosh, I was in the bathroom. Because they see that your Yahoo Messenger's on and they think you're chatting everybody. It's like, no, I was in the bathroom. And one day she messaged me and said, Michael, one of my cats is gone. I think it ran away. And she was all sad. And she loved cats. I mean, the Philippines is very different. And this room is a cold room. There's a heater vent in there, but it's cold. I insulated it too, and I got rid of the 3 big windows and everything, but it's better than it was, but cats don't grass you up. What does that mean? What does it mean, cats don't grass you up? Grass you up. Uptown, grass you up. That's funny. Oh, man, I got to show you something. You ladies will get a kick out of this. So when I had my roommate, she's a school teacher. This shirt she gave to me. The school that she taught at, when I met her, their mascot was the Wildcats, and the school is closed down. They shut the school down. Rumor has it that the police were to use it as a training facility. But she would draw pictures for me. And when the summer, I would work in the summertime. And, I gotta find this. So I had to get up and go to work, and she had summers off. But I was doing seat repairs, so I still had to go to work in the summers because I had year-round deployment. And I'd get up and leave the house before she woke up. And she was just platonic. There was no hanky-panky or nothing. And before she'd go to bed, she would do stuff like this. Now, I just showed you my shirt. And she used to have different Wildcat shirts. But this was the first one she made for me. Good morning, take a banana to work today. And she drew the Wildcat. And then her drawings became, good morning, I hope your day doesn't drag on by. And she would do this. Then she found her colored pencil set, and she started becoming very, very creative. Good morning, Michael. Have a marvelous Monday. Guess what? You have lots of bananas. Very cute. And I kept those. I cannot throw this away. She did that the whole summer. I mean, she did all that freehand. This was so funny. Some of her pictures, we were laughing. Good morning, Michael. Guess what day it is? It's hump, hump, hump day. Ha, ha, ha. I hope you have a great day. And then she made this, because we would joke about these FAGGOT ponies. And I said, oh my gosh, look at the size of legs on that frog. Good morning, Michael. Guess what? We made it to a fantastic Friday. Ribbit, ribbit, have a froggy day. It's what? Go ahead and say it. It's payday. She was very, very talented. Oh, that's all right, lady. She was extremely nice. This woman would get up every day. Good morning, Michael. I hope you have a great day. Oink, oink. Stay safe out there. I have to show you one of her horses that she made. Good morning, Michael. I hope you have a Turtle Tuesday. See Mr. Turtle swimming in the water? Ha ha ha. Have a great day and stay safe out there. Guess what? Tomorrow's Wednesday and you have the day off. All of these were cute in their own way. Good morning, Michael. The buzz on the streets is this. Tomorrow is Friday. Shh, it's a secret. Be very, very careful and don't let the bee out of the hive. I hope you have a great day and be safe out there. How can you throw that stuff away? Yes, ZLS, absolutely. Good morning, Michael. Welcome to the longest day of the year. It was June 21st. Guess what? It's Friday. I hope your day goes by fast. Laugh out loud. Remember, it's the longest day of the year. I love ladybugs. Good morning, Michael. I hope you have a moveless Monday. Stay safe, and I hope you're able to get home before the cows. And then she put pig for dinner tonight, not cow. She would make pork chops. When she moved away, the last day she was here, I never thought I'd have this happen. She lived here 15 months. And she was not my girlfriend. I didn't run naked through the house. I'd be shirtless because this is my home. Tina, you know, it is extremely hard to find a roommate that doesn't drive you up a wall. No, I never did, Stick Man. I didn't have an interest in it that way. Yes. Lady, now that would be cool to see. Good morning, Michael. I hope Mr. Snail made your day. I hope your day goes faster than a snail, but he is cute. Guess what? Tomorrow is Wednesday and Friday is payday. She had such happy face. This was absolutely adorable. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Michael. Guess what? I bet you didn't know that the border designs are not bacteria, but splashes of melted ice cream. LOL. It's going to be a very hot day, the ice cream says. Keep cool. I tell you what, ladies, I'm a man. I can be rough, I can be harsh, but I'm touched by the things that a woman brings to this world. I miss that. When she left this house, and I love my house, these four walls closed on me so fast. That warmth that she brought for a time. And then I lost my job and all these things happened. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, not everything lasts forever. Everything's a season. Ladies, men, no matter what you're going through, everything is a season. Spring doesn't last forever. Summer doesn't last forever. Winter doesn't last forever. Fall. I hope you have a terrific Thursday. Stay safe out there. Mr. Bat says, don't go batty in this heat because soon you will not be having to work on seats. Guess what? Tomorrow's, wait for it, Friday, payday. She would draw this stuff before she went to bed every night. Good morning, Michael. Get this. It is the first day of July. That's right. A new month is before us. Mr. Octopus knows this is the month to celebrate our independence. I hope you have a great day and it's not supposed to be as hot. Stay safe out there and I'll see you this afternoon. Hey, maybe we will be able to see some fireworks. This was absolutely adorable. I mean, she did this. Fox. I can't throw this stuff away. She made a perfect rendition of Templeton. Good morning, Michael. This mouse got away from the wildcat. I hope you have a marvelous mousy Wednesday. Ha ha, silly cat. Guess what? You get the day off tomorrow. Hip, hip, hooray. I tell you what. And this was the 4th of July. Look at that. Ladies, isn't that cool? I mean, I have a heart. She made the rabbit. Every day she did something different. She made a jellyfish, had messages all on there. I said, man, you enjoy that. She goes, I love doing that. So cute. Then she drew the horse, and as she looked at it, she started laughing. She said, riddle for the day, why oh why do some of my animals have a bubble butt? I said, ma'am, what happened to the horse's butt, Tina? We got a good laugh out of that. And then look at this. This is a beautiful dragonfly. I mean, she put time into this, man. Did a lion. That's right, Stereo. One of my favorite songs. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. There's only one, there's more than one lady here. These are the equivalent of a girl in the playground telling a boy she likes him and then running off with her friends. They are. She was interested in me, you guys. And I said, you're living in my house. We're friends. You got roller skates? That's awesome. She did. But I told her from the beginning, I didn't have that towards her. She still texts me. No, she's got a boyfriend. We text each other every day. Good morning. Hope you have a good lunch. Have a good night. We still talk on the phone from time to time. Oh yeah, she had rushed into a couple of marriages and regretted that. And she latched onto me right away, and I said, you know, I didn't have that interest in her that way. On a roommate and a friend level, absolutely. But as my lover, as my girlfriend, I didn't feel that. The beaver, that's so cool. And then the wildcat, she got that going on with the tiger. So cute. Then she made the little caterpillar. I hope you have a wonderful day filled with butterflies. Such a cute elephant. Elephants are very cool, very intelligent and compassionate, amazing animals. Yeah, that was cool. Mr. Gorilla. Yeah, it hurts me when you lose the presence of somebody. I didn't charge her rent. I was supposed to figure out how much to charge her, but I didn't. She offered to pay half the service of when I had a oak tree removed, very expensive. And I had the money for it. She goes, I'll pay half. Then she offered to pay half for the one in the front to be removed. Then she offered to pay half for the Terminix. And then she just started cooking dinner. I said, well, I don't want it. She goes, no, I want to do that. She said, I was married and my husband did not appreciate it. He wouldn't even talk to her. She'd come home from work and he would just ignore her. I had compassion on her because she had just gotten a divorce and needed a place to move. And she moved in here. I finished the bedroom off the kitchen. It was an empty shell. I put in the window. I built a closet and I got all the trim done. This little cute cactus lights the rain, but not the flood. Cactus hopes you stay dry today and safe from any storms. Stormy weather is not good if you are outside. Look at that. I love cactus, by the way. She did an owl. This was her last one. And then school started again. But she was something else. And you don't meet people like that today. I was blessed to have the presence of somebody in here for 15 months. And man, it hurt when she left. I came home from work. And I'm like, you know, I'd come in the house every day and I'd say, Tina. She even told me, she goes, I missed that. She said, even though my mom bought a new house, and she's the owner too, she's paying on it. Her mother sold the house for X amount of dollars in Greenwood, South Carolina. They bought a house an hour from here in Georgia because her mother didn't tell her. She put her house up for sale, put it on a new one. Tina went up to visit her one day and saw all these boxes packed and said, Mom, what are you doing? And she dropped the bomb on her. And I struggled with that. I'm like, wow, your mom just made that decision and said, I need you to help me pay the mortgage. No one's going to rope me into any loan or debt without my consent. But she does have an outstanding relationship with her mother. And I said, wow. She had started seeing a guy. She stayed at the guy she's with now. She'd stay at her lady friend's house. And I wasn't seeing her on the weekends. And she'd come back Monday after school. And I just knew something was changing. And then her mother did that. They came down here on the day after Thanksgiving to say hi. But yeah, living alone has strengthened me. I've been alone for a long time, and she living in here was great. And it hurt like heck when she left. I'm like, ladies, I can't underscore that when there's a good woman, you guys have more effect than you realize on us. Thank you, Finnegan. I appreciate that. Crafty lady, I don't have that towards her. I'm not physically attracted to her that way. I don't look at her that way. We went to the flea market and somebody thought she was my mom. She does look quite a bit older than me. And she's younger than me. I do have some hangups. I'll be honest. I wasn't attracted to her that way. Excuse me. And one thing I will say, she got up every morning. I'm working with mostly men now. And I never thought I'd say what I'm about to say. I have been working with women so many years in transportation because so many women drive buses. I got tired of it. I want to work with all men. Well, guess what? Now I'm there. And I see moody men. I see men that act like women. No, not Femi, but biatchy. And I joked to my supervisor the other day. I said, the guy in another department, I said, I'm about to buy him a box of maxi pads. He looked at me and laughed. He said, maybe you should. I said, I'm starting to wonder. All of this has helped me become more manly. I mean, I wear my clothing and I do what I do, but I'm a man. I don't need a mommy to mother me. Having Tina in the house was a blessing. That was a blessing by God. And it's like a butterfly. After Helene hit, I had the burn barrel in the front yard, and Tina and I would go out there during the night and stoke the fire. No power on, dark. The streets were dark. People were running around robbing houses. And I'm going to be out stoking that burn barrel. I want to maintain a presence out here. I want that big barrel burning hot so that the neighborhood can see it. And that really encouraged people. People drove by and they stopped. I like that. My neighbor asked if he could grill his dinner on there. It became a point for people to come and stop and talk. I remember when I was in Duluth, I would walk literally 8 miles out Park Point on the sandy beach of, Lake Superior on a summer night. And you go way out past where the houses are. And it was driftwood. And I'd dig a big hole in the sand. I'd have a book of matches with me, and I'd throw pieces of driftwood and then bigger pieces, and I'd get a big deep hole and light a fire, and I'd just sit there. Sit on the sand, hear the waves hit the shore. The moon would be out, the fire's burning, and people would stop and talk. This is the 80s, early 90s. And one day, a couple years of this, it was such a fun thing to do. I see this four-wheeler coming towards me, and it's a police officer, and he goes, "How you doing tonight?" I said, "I'm good." "Yeah, I'm going to have you put out that fire." And I said, "What?" "I've always been doing this." He goes, "Well, things have changed." He said, "Neighbors are complaining about the smoke coming into their houses." And I said, "Wow, it's just driftwood. Okay." And I pushed the sand and buried the fire. And after he rode off, I said, "Wow, isn't that just like our society? Take good things away, one little step at a time." I remember beautiful nights meeting men and women that would just stop and talk. "That's a beautiful fire, man." I said, "Yep, it's a perfect night for it. Get the mosquitoes away." I still want to do that with somebody. Just go out there and light a fire on the beach. Talk about anything. It's just that those are special times. Mystery Rock, I agree. No, her mother bought a house and told her, "I want you to come and live with me. I'm getting older. I don't want to be alone." "Hi, Bridge. How are you?" No, Tina left, and she told me, if my mother were to leave, I'm not staying in this house. It's new, it's nice. Let me tell you what she said. "I loved the room you fixed for me. I like your kitchen. I like the way you designed the house." She goes, "I loved it." She would sit there and work on her summer work in the dining room table with her laptop and do her up to date testing and stuff. She really likes this house. I missed the trolling. Who was that? Who was doing the trolling? I was going off and thought we were safe from all that. Probably that 10-year clown, 11 years now. 11-year clown still at it again. Slapping Tina. Wow, somebody's got their head stuffed up their rectum. I don't slap women. That's crazy, Stereo. You know what works for me? I love demolition. When I was working on this house and I'd tear stuff down to redo things, man, I'd get my crowbar and I would just go thunk into the sheetrock and start pulling. Sometimes you only get a 2-inch square, and then I'd get it just right and start rocking it. Big old section would come off. I'm like, yeah. I'd clean up the sheetrock, then I'd start pulling out the studs. Lady Bridge is good people. Bridge sent me this. I got to get on it. When we stop getting cold weather, and I don't have the days off like I did at school. I mean, my weekends, I haven't done anything on the house. I've maintained the cleanliness and stuff, but I need to get my bathroom up, finished off. And she sent me the ship in the bottle. And it gives the history on the back, the art of ship in a bottle, and very cool. If I could save time in a bottle. Hi, Tina. Any room is a rage room. Stud. Yep. I saw that today on my break. I about went giddy. Look at that. I hope you're smiling now, buddy. You do not have a right to start a protest in the middle of a church service. Hi, Lena. Don Lemon was arrested today. You see, Bridge is sad about that. No. They went after the pastor supported ICE. They're going to disrupt that. You do not have a right to interfere with faith. Yeah. To me, this is Don Lemon in a nutshell. And the lifestyle he's involved in is more in line with that. That's what I think of when I see the Minneapolis protesters. She's a real peach. How'd you like to go out with that, boys? Thanks for letting me show you the pictures that Tina drew. That was so cool, It was so fun. No way he spent 1 minute in a cell. I don't know. He might enjoy it in there. Get to experience a lot of new men. I tell you what, if I had to go to prison for something, I think that I know I wouldn't like that at all. I'd sit in my cell and start foaming at the mouth, and everybody think I've lost my mind. No, I'll throw the soap at him. You come near me, you're going to get it in the face. Drop the soap on purpose. Mom, you're so bad. Oh, you mean Don? You remember when they came out with Soap on a Rope, the Old Spice? Why do you think they did that? You think Old Spice was saying something back then? They knew. Don't drop it. Remember, you always got to lift with your legs. You don't bend over and pick up something in the shower. You squat down. Mr. Russell, how are you? I love it when Michael's late to the joke. Yeah, it took me a minute. No, they ought to have a wrapper called lemon soap. And it's got a little picture there on it. Good for cleaning Good for cleaning in those hard to reach places. Don't drop the lemon bar. Well, I'm glad we're all on the same page, folks. I have no respect for what he did. I've never agreed with him. A buffet for Don. Old country. But wow, that's Golden Corral's jail for Don.
You guys aren't being very nice. You're making fun of his lifestyle.
Look, you came into a church. People are trying to worship God. What is your problem? No shame. No conscience. Donna Lamone. Who started Donna Lamone? No, it's like Pepe Le Pew, Le Pant, Le Pant. Let's get rid of it. I really don't want to look at this guy. I went to Aldi on my way home from work today. Got myself some cheese. Tina started that, by the way. She was a very simple woman. She'd go, here, have some cheese. And she'd hold that out. And I said, that's cute, the little cow head. And she got me hooked on that. You know, I can see when I was a kid where I didn't bond with my mother. I was adopted, and the mother that adopted me was not a good match. And I hate to say this, ladies, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not looking for a mama. I moved into this house, I bought this house. There was gunshots going off in this neighborhood when I first moved in here. I didn't lay here and cower in fear. I owned my real estate, and I said, okay, the guys are shooting the guns again. I don't hear it now. It's been very quiet the last couple of years. The police are more on the move with that now. And neighbors are calling. Somebody fires off the gun, and there's cop cars here within minutes. But when Tina was here, it gave me a sense of comfort. When Helene came, I was glad she was here. It was easier for me to be the man because it's like, I have a woman in this house. I have an obligation, whether she's my wife or not. These people are robbing and breaking houses. We're not going to put up with that here. And the thing I did with Tina's room, I built it in the center of the house. No outside window. It's got a window to the laundry room. It's got a window to the hallway. And she picked out these really nice nautical curtains, which she left behind because she knows I like nautical, and she liked those and she picked them herself. But I said, the nice thing is if somebody breaks in, they can't just climb in your bedroom window. And I kept my bedroom door unlocked while she was here. That way, if there's ever a problem, she could walk right in and say, hey, and wake me up. People might say, why do you lock your door? Well, I live in a sketchy neighborhood, and if somebody were to break in and I didn't hear it, with a double deadbolt, I'm going to hear some noise on a metal door if they're trying to get in here. I don't live in fear. And I put the metal doors in because I was thinking of renting out rooms. I'm not going to do that. I love chicken breast Mark, thanks for coming in. You have a good evening. I don't know if they're a union or not, but they bought out Big Lots here in Augusta. Big Lots was closing, and then all of a sudden somebody said Big. I said they're not open. They. I was there. They cleaned out the store. I said no. Aldi's bought them, and they're open again. I said wow. I feel like chicken eye. Hey Zach, are you serious, Backwood? Yes, we got an Ollie's here. I'd never seen that out west. Shoot, I bought a lot of my Clive Cussler books from there. Oh, if I can get rid of the screen thingy. I bought most of my Clive Cussler books there. I've read every one of those. Hello, Tiny Mother. How are you? Who else did I just miss? Hello, Liz. How are you? Big Lots. I remember back in the 90s, Big Lots, you could find some cool stuff in there. Yep, Clive Cussler was my rave. He's into the ocean and mystery and Pizza Hut. The whole chain is gone? Are you serious or just in your town? I go to Dollar Tree, not Family Dollar or Dollar General, because Dollar General isn't, well, nothing's just a dollar anymore. I remember a couple of years, COVID, they went up to $1.25 tree. Shoot, Hobby Lobby does have some cool things. Could have dropped the Domino's. You remember when Domino's claimed to deliver in what, 10 minutes, and there were all these accidents, and the insurance said we're not going to insure because of that? In your town, got it, Tina. Quick stop. Work went much better, Justice Shane. And how are you? How did I get the green screen? Good grief. Hey, Bridge, look. You like that, Bridge? We're going to send a herd of those over to the protesters in Minneapolis so they can get on them and they'll be spirited away to another land far away from ours. Gay. That's why I pulled up. Oh man. Okay. With Jay and Silent Bob hanging out in front. There's a place. Golden Corral was my favorite in Denver. Lone Pine, California. You can look it up. When I was a kid, you come up US 395. Lone Pine is 100 miles from Mammoth Lakes. We ate at Bonanza Restaurant. Steak. The Bonanza Restaurant was so cool. I believe it is still there. Not a chain, not a franchise. Those towns, I look at them and they have literally, I feel like if I was to go through there, I'd feel like I was back in the 80s. Very little, well, at least on the surface, big change. There's something very inviting. I think if California is too liberal, but if I was really well off, I'd probably go look at a town like that. Those places were cool. They were the gateway of the Sierra Nevadas. Different people over there. Well, this was Bonanza, but it was not a chain. It was Western all the way, and it had the old weathered wood out front. This wasn't one of those restaurants that made to look fake. This was really Western, real. Oh, steak, potatoes. You walked out of there going, burp. Okay, I'm full. Good food. I miss my personal, get rid of this gay pony. Good night. Bridge gay. I miss Western Sizzler. That was my favorite restaurant as a kid. Western Sizzler. They had surf and turf. They had seafood. They had steak. When it was my birthday, that's where I wanted to eat. When there was a special occasion, that's where I wanted to eat. Who is Eric Church? Yeah, it was Western Sizzler. I say that because people out east remember them as Western Sizzler. And I think it was called that out west, but as a kid, it was called the Sizzler. Okay, Backwoods, I'm not familiar with them. They had that toast. Oh my gosh, that toast was so good. It's like Red Lobster's biscuits. Now you can buy the Red Lobster biscuit mix at the store. We had a restaurant in Mammoth, and the only other one, there were two. One was in San Diego, one was in Mammoth, called the Chart House. This was upper end seafood restaurant. Swordfish. Oh yeah. I love the Chart House, but it was expensive. The one in San Diego was right where all the sailboats. I mean, you were looking out the restaurant windows at the marina. I remember going there as a kid, and when they got a Chart House in Mammoth, I about died. I was like, that's my new birthday location. We had the Captain's Table. The Captain's Table was the only seafood restaurant in Mammoth. We had split pea soup Anderson's. A restaurant with the cathedral ceilings. Everything in Mammoth looked like something out of Switzerland. And you went to the Alpenhof Lodge, with the shutters and the flower boxes and the Ingelhof Inn. And it was, everything looked like Switzerland, but pea soup Anderson's. You could go in there, and it was great back in the 70s and 80s. You come off the slopes, pea soup Anderson's got hot pea soup with the ham in it. That was so good. That's gone. Schatz Bakery and Schatzi's Restaurant. Schatz was awesome. Mammoth had really good restaurants. We had the Mogul Steakhouse. These were all personal owned. Now, Split Pea Soup Anderson had one in Van Nuys and one in Mammoth, family owned. But Mammoth had some good restaurants. Hello, Gerald. How are you? I say that because Mammoth, we did have good restaurants. They had a place called The Stove, and it was like themed off Little House on the Prairie type thing. They had the Clock Tower restaurant. We went to the Clock Tower one night. That was the first time I had sauteed mushrooms as a kid. And I loved them. My dad said, all right, that's enough. There's wine in them. Wine? They say when you cook it in wine, though, the alcohol burns off. I never had swordfish. That was high dollar. It's very hard to catch. Mammoth got a McDonald's after I left. We moved out in 83. Moved to Prescott, Arizona. My cross-country coach, Coach Barber, we're doing stretching. He says, hey, Nelson, I heard in the news that your town had just gotten a McDonald's that you left, Mammoth. I said, yeah, I heard about that. And he goes, they were applying for a liquor license, and it would be the first McDonald's in the country to have a liquor license. And because of that, he started calling me Mick Nelson. It stuck. Everybody on the team said, hey, Mick Nelson. I said, wow. I said, I'm associated with that. They called me the Copper Top Battery, Flounder, and Fluke. I've never had that, Dion. That sounds awesome. Is that Cece's or Chi-Chi's? The McDonald's in Germany serves beer. Red Lobster's good, but man, you can't go out of there under $100 for two now. Cincinnati's left Colorado. Really? CC. Yes, Casa Bonita. We have, you can ask E-Rock. We have Veracruz here. Very good Mexican restaurant. They have fajitas across the border. They bring it out on the cast iron serving thing. Sizzling steak. The peppers, onions, mushrooms, steak, chicken, and shrimp. And then they give you a side of the refried beans, cheese, grated cheese, the guacamole, the lettuce, Spanish rice, and the tortillas. I don't eat the tortillas, but I eat the fajitas. And what's funny is if I bring a lunch date, you can buy the two combo, and it's like $21. And I mean, you're getting full food. I'll tell you, I hate to say it, but Mexican restaurants still have value for your buck. The regular American ones are just getting too expensive. Oh, that sounds good. This sucks. I'm hungry. Hey, Cardin, how are you? What's the fun station? Taco Bell. I loved Taco Bell as a kid. Did y'all see during COVID and people showed the Taco Bell bathroom and it had 100 rolls of toilet paper from the back of the toilet tank all the way up to the ceiling? And I was like, wow, yeah. It said the bathroom at Taco Bell. When I was in Denver, people kept saying they have food poisoning at Taco Bell. So why do y'all keep going back? Oh, they love oxtails down here. I didn't even know what they were. They love their oxtails down here. I did not have those. What they do in the South here, they've got a KJ's, which is an IGA, and their deli is awesome. They actually have ladies back there cooking food, serving lunches, breakfast. In the morning, you can get corned beef hash, eggs, grits, bacon, sausage links, all the patties. And when we were delivering food on the buses for COVID, they tell us to leave the terminal and go up and get near our schools. But the schools didn't want us up there till a certain time, so we stopped at KJ's. We go in there and buy breakfast every day, and then they would have the broccoli rice. Oh, have you guys ever had broccoli rice with the cheese? That is my favorite. Oh my gosh, I'd die for that broccoli cheese, broccoli rice. I did not know that, Dion. I was in the Philippines. I did not know they did oxtails down there. No, I see you. Mob answered. We didn't go to lunch. Mob had come out of that surgery at Duke, and he started feeling nausea, and they ended up leaving, and poor guy got sick on his way back to the hotel. He went through a pretty dramatic surgery. And praise God, Mom's doing much better. I want to lift up Colette again. I've not heard a message from her for several days. And her last message in here in the room was very sobering. And you know what's funny, Mom? I never knew it. When you and your wife were here, you guys seemed in fine fashion. I'm glad I got to see you. Iraq, we lifted you up in prayer as well. I shared a little bit about the frustrations that you have at your job. Yeah, Diane, she left a message in here the other day saying, how did she say that, Iraq? How did she put it? I might be leaving this world now. She's in New Zealand, Stereo. There's no way. When I looked at that, I could figure out what you were asking for. And if I had a doubt, I'd come up and say, so this is what you said. Iraq and I have the same situation. We're 2 hours apart. There's a lack of basic intelligence down here. I love the Philippines. I spent 2 weeks there in 2018, and I love it. Oh, Jim, you're busy too. You're one of the few people, and Bobby, there's not very many that come in from West Coast. Ironically, I'm a West Coaster originally, and most of my dyed-in-the-wool people are east of the Mississippi. I love it. It's better out here in that regard. I remember growing up out west, and when you move away from out west, your friends, it just disappears. When you make friends out this way, they stay with you. There really is a separation in this country, right down the Mississippi. It really is strange. Spell 16. Hey, point to your head and say the initials of mountain. MT. Sheesh. Sorry, I gotta. Hey, Okie. I don't even want to go there, intercept. We don't need that in this country. What I'm praying for is God's return within our lifetime. Anybody agree with me on that? Would anybody have any objection to God returning in our lifetime? I wouldn't. That's better than retirement. Better than retirement. Let's go, JC. Instead of let's go, Brandon, let's go, Jesus. Absolutely. I don't think we have much time. I'll tell you what. I want God to return. Sick of this place. He's throwing in the towel, man. Look, I feel it. We got a guy I work with. He works in the wood shop building the crates and pallets for shipping special and heavy items. He's standing outside the bay door, coughing and hacking so hard, and he's lighting up another cigarette. And I just kind of looked over at him, thought, wow, that's an addiction. I don't have a cold, but you know, I laughed so hard it moved a bunch of, I hate that word, phlegm. Phlegm, yeast, and moisture. My three unfavorite words. All right, guys, let's have some fun. I said we're going to have fun. So, name a word you cannot stand the way it sounds. Name a word. Everybody go. 1, 2, 3. List the word in the room. I can't stand yeast, moisture, and phlegm. Moist. Yep, that one. I can't stand it. Donita, well done. Anybody else? Oh, absurd. Yes. Puberty is another word I hate. I hate the word puberty or pubic. It's gross, disgusting, spooge. Yeah, that became slang for sperm. Pubes. Oh, I hate that. That just dehumanizes things so bad. The P word, as in between the legs, Z-Rock. Interesting, Stereo. Pubix grocery store. We got a Pubix out here. I don't go to it because it's on the west side. Blouse. Blouse. Goon. Yep, I remember when it meant a bad guy. Well, they say that, Papa, I'm going to take care of these goons. Another, yep. I agree. Fleming. We got not too far from the house, there's the Fleming neighborhood, Fleming Baptist Church. Good morning, everybody. After we pray, we're going to clear the phlegm. Smear. Yeah. Bills. Yeah, I don't think anybody likes the word bills. Tax. Bet. Oh, gosh, I hate 6-7. That's so stupid. What's smegma? What is that? Bruh. Yeah. Who started all that? Bray, bruh, bro. It was bro. Now you hear of a term called bromance. You don't want to know that. Oh, Greg, that always bothers me too. Or the one that I see corporate guys, yep, the wife. How depersonalized. Yeah, the wife and I are going to go camping. The wife. Not my wife, the wife. That's so tacky. Tacky. Wow. It's the cheese to get. Bridge, what is all that? The help, yep. Maggot, yep. Oh, okay, okay. I was like, I'm not trying to be personal and I don't want to know, but why would somebody not get circumcised? Yuck. Munda cheese. We used to call that stuff between your toes toe cheese, toe jam, toe cheese. And I remember watching a program years ago where they're talking about things that irritate married couples with each other. And the wife was saying, when my husband picks between his feet. Anything hillbilly like that is ridiculous. Yep. Duck sausage. Duck on down and get some. What's the crundle? All right, married people. What or guys and gals that have dated, what is it your partner would do that would irritate you the most? You know, you hear people saying squeezing the toothpaste from the wrong tube, putting the toilet paper on backwards. We're talking about that kind of stuff. What bothers you that people do that you don't like? Makeup wash rags on the sink. There you go. When my hubby Some guys can't wash their own bodies properly. Snore, fart while I would be eating in the same room. Wow, Jim, we are getting graphic in here. When he puts, you're supposed to have the roll come over like a waterfall so you can grab it. When it's towards the wall, that's gay. Three daughters and a wife, 1.5 bathroom. Oh boy, I feel your pain. Shutting the microwave door so hard the wall shakes. Someone's saying this bro all the time. Jungle Bridge. I'm like that too, Ricky. I hate it when the clerk hands me the money and it's going every direction. I straighten it out. Organizing one's cash. Dinging my car doors. Yes. Leaving Q-tips around. What is he using them for? When someone overstuffs a trash bag, falls out, then you have to dump it as a. Oh gosh, yes. Yes, Sublime, that gets irritating. Oh, thank you, Okie. Remember the days with the checkbook and you're standing in line at the express line and you get some lady. And in the year of our Lord, 1492, I was still trying to write this check out. Man, when I used to do checks, I'd have that thing ready and all I had to do was fill in the amount. There was something I was going to mention. What was it? My ex-wife would do this. I'd be driving and she'd point at something and put her finger right in front of my face. I said, man, I am driving. Don't put your finger in my face. I don't like it when anybody does that. And she'd get mad. Oh my gosh, I can't do anything. Man, I just said, don't put your finger by, I'm driving. I don't know anybody that wants a finger in their face. She's pointing at something and going like this. Really want to watch? What is TPB? Oh, no, Michael doesn't do that. Now, I live here alone. My door's wide open. When Tina was here, I didn't do that. Trailer Park Boys. Now that sounds interesting. Smiley face, a clown, and poop emoji. I love that. Lady, I can't. I don't have TV. Ricky, don't lose that number. Somebody. I had a woman that I knew from transportation, black woman, Tiffany. Different Tiffany. She came in. She was doing Uber Eats. She goes, Mike, can I use your bathroom? Sure. I'm out doing delivery and I don't have anywhere to use the toilet. I said, yeah, it's right there. She goes in there, leaves the door. I said, man, do you shut the door? I'm standing in the dining room. Then she comes out after she washed her hands and then she pulls her shirt up. I said, what are you doing? I thought you'd want to see this. I said, I'm not having sex with you. You got 2 little kids and I'm not making a third. Why? Because I'm not doing no child support and we ain't having that kind of a deal. I wouldn't charge you for child support. I said, yeah, famous last words, honey. Look, I know I'm not from Augusta, but I'm not stupid. Get involved with a white guy. He got money. Uh-huh. Don insisting on being the bottom himself. PB&J, that's terrible. That's funny. Pun intended. Who knows? Don could be just having a ball in there right now. Are you a top or a bottom? I'm all 3. Favorite dish with chicken? I don't like lo mein, but I do like chicken with rice. I mean, they call it lo mein and they put that sauce, but I like chicken with rice. I'll do the ground chicken that I showed you early in the video, the Purdue ground chicken. Boil some noodles, spice up the chicken, get some rice and mix the noodles, rice, and then throw in some veggies. My goulash, I love it. Instead of a hangover, it's a bend over. Oh, Briz, that's terrible.
You guys are so bad. That's not nice to make fun of Don. He's really having some trauma right now. He's been caught cheating on his husband.
Beer can chicken. I'll tell you a good one. I went to the store in Prescott when I had my own place. Donita. He's gay. I know. Sending him to jail might not be a punishment. That's what I'm saying. It's like sending him to the buffet. Hey, prison guard. You want to touch? Are you Don Lemon? Yeah. No, man. No, I'm good. Why does he look like Steve Urkel? The buffet. Goulash is good. So I bought a can and it said 1 whole chicken. Stop, Mike, I can't breathe. I loved it during COVID when the whole George Floyd debacle. And then you see the black people here wearing I can't breathe masks. And I was so tempted to say, if you pull your mask down, you can breathe. Michael, don't you dare. That little voice said, Michael, shut your mouth. The really awesome thing was during COVID is watching one person in their car with the windows up wearing a mask. And that's when I realized that's how you tell who the Democrats are. Mask on in a car by themselves. Anybody ever see that? Urkel. If you're wearing your mask in your car by yourself, you must have voted for Biden. I mean, that is a signal summa cum laude. Hey, I think we're having some good chat tonight. It's about time. I don't even want to talk about these morons in Minneapolis. I wish there was a preparation H you could use to get rid of living hemorrhoids. That'd clear out all the Democrat Party. You know? Sheesh. My Wildcat shirt. I haven't worn this in a long time. Democrats. That's because I'm here. Party time, Jamaica. Lady, I agree with you 100%. Lady's Irish and lady's cute. What do you call a virgin on a waterbed? I don't know. I hated the mask. Blood clot, man, the blood clot. We're all waiting. A cherry float. Jim, you're bad. Bad. What do you call 10 blondes in a freezer? Frosted Flakes. How does a blonde turn on the light? Opens the car door. Boo. Boo. This is a family channel. Yeah, Mike Nelson's family. No kids. Why'd they have Scott toilet paper? What was Scott doing in the backyard anyway? You know, the first toilet was named by a guy named John Crapper. How fitting. I think the Crapper was the one with the pull chain tank up the top. The Crapper. Stereo, what is that? Bridge, I'm going to use you as this joke. You'll get a kick out of it. So I died and went to heaven. And Peter was taking me around. I noticed in heaven there are walls with all these clocks. Endless clocks. And they each had somebody's name under. Each clock had somebody's name under it. And some the hands were moving very slow, some not at all. And I said, Peter, what are all these clocks? Peter said, that clock has somebody's name under it, and every time they sin, the hands move. Oh. So I look around, I see some people I know and some I don't. And Peter, where's Bridges' clock? Peter smiles and he says, oh, we have a shed out back. It gets real hot. We're using hers as a fan. Sorry, Bridge. You can put anybody's name in there you want. I knew you would. I knew you wouldn't get offended. Go tell Don that.
luxury red toilet paper. You know, some people take this stuff way too far. Raise your hand if you remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with Robin Leach. Thank you. Can you remember? Do you remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? And the gold-plated faucet handles. What happened to those good times? Now you watch a TV show from the 70s and you're like, wow, that just seems so long ago. Did anybody ever see the movie? You scared the stuff out of me. Duel. The guy with the red Dodge Swinger, Dodge Dart, driving from his office, driving out in the country to a business contact. And he passes this truck that's creepy looking, the semi truck. And the guy gets mad and chases him throughout the movie. Duel. That was the first Steven Spielberg movie ever made for TV. You never saw the driver of the truck. That's right, Mom. You saw his boots hit the ground. Remember that weird lady out there? She had all them rattlesnakes and tarantulas and poisonous things. And he hit everything and they all got out. And she's weeping, my snakes, my snakes. And you're like, great. Snakes all over the place. That guy was a trip. And he was psychologically getting to this guy. And the movie ends where the guy outruns him, gets up to the top of a high point, jumps out of his car as the truck's coming, and the truck hits the car and careens over the edge. And you see the tanker never explode, but it's slow motion. Just weird. That scared the stuff out of me. Oh, it was a Plymouth Valiant. You know those were good cars. I think they had the slant six in them. The truck, I want the truck now. I would love to have that truck with that patinaed metal. People kind of started putting it puts the lotion on the skin. Let me grow my hair back and have it pinstriped on the side. It puts the lotion on the skin and just creepily go through some small town. Everybody starts screaming, did you see that truck? That'd be funny. Yes, Donita. Lady, are you still in here? I'd like to find a 65 Chevy truck that's been in a garage and went once a week to the grocery store. And it has 20,000 miles on it. And the old man says, Mike, I don't need this anymore. You can have it for $1,000. Oh, yeah. Classic pickup. Lady, I'm glad you're in here tonight. I'm glad all of you. Motor Oil, how you doing? Yes. The station wagon. I was just talking the other day. You know, all the big cars are gone now. The Crown Vics, the Caprice, the Park Avenues, the Lincolns. They don't have the big old, the big cars. They just rode different. I mean, I remember driving some of those. When you hit a bump, it's like being on a waterbed. They're so smooth. You get in these cars today and you can feel every expansion joint in the freeway, every crack in the road, and your tires are going ding, 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 ding. And in those, you're just driving and just so smooth. Do you really? Oh, the kit car. Hello, Michael. All right, Kit, I need your help. I never thought you'd ask. Smokey and the Bandit wiped out a bunch of bikes. Crown Vics were awesome. The black people buy them here and put 3 feet ugly, pimply rims on them and a beatbox in there and drive through the neighborhood terrorizing everything. They hate the police, but they want the cars. I think the Lincoln Town Car. No. Let me figure this out. No, the Chrysler New Yorker. You car buffs are going to have to correct me. Wasn't that the longest overall car? The 60s, 70s, the Chrysler New Yorker. You could land a helicopter on the trunk and the hood. DeLorean. Wasn't that Back to the Future? You put Mustang wheels in a turbo kit. So do you rebuild them and stuff, Interceptor? What do you usually sell a good shape Crown Vic for? $10 to $20. Isn't that something? The old cars are worth something now. Riders in the storm. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, the Nova SS. They got a Nova wagon. 60s. Now that is beautiful. I saw one in the online years ago. It was that very deep crimson red. And I'm like, look at that. I want that. Now, I would drive a station wagon to look like that. I'd want dual exhaust under the back bumper, posi track. I'd want some good Hardy V8 power. Oh, yeah. That'd be fun. I want a straight 8 in a pickup truck. That truck would have to be special built. I want a custom pickup truck with a straight 8 that they had in the Duesenbergs. 85 in second gear. I want that. Chevrolet Chevelle. Garage kept 30,000 miles. When I was married, my wife and I inherited her mother's house. In 2005, she had a 78 Caprice Classic, 30,000 miles in the garage under tarps. Unbelievable. I agree, Stereo. The mother wouldn't drive it. Her husband bought it for her, and she said she hated the color. So my wife drove it when she was going down to University of Minnesota, Duluth. She said it really was a nice car. So we agreed to let my friend have it. But if he decided to get rid of it, it came back to us, no charge, and we'll pay you what you put into it. He put new tires. He removed the valve covers and he kind of greased up things because they've been sitting. He called me up and said, I want you to hear this. I said, what is that? He said, listen to the sound of this Caprice. It was smooth as a kitten.
He drove it for a year. He gave it back to us. We paid him for tires and a few things he did. We drove it around. It was a very nice car. And I said, there's no Z-Bart under this car. One winter here is going to eat this baby up. She goes, I don't really want it because it reminds me of my mother. I said, we'll sell it. We got $2,600 for it. If I had that car now in that condition here, I'd have the black community fighting over that car. They want those. They want those because they were big. They had the legroom. They don't make cars like that anymore. The sky would be the limit on what I could get for that now. Down here? Salt train's busy. Can you guys hear that through there? The train horn? The Super Bee. Is that train horn coming through? I can hear the diesels throbbing. I love that. Yeah, I can hear the diesels throbbing. That means the wind is blowing from the west because I can hear it very clearly. I wanted one on the Deuce. And if I get a Deuce, I want to put one on it. Justin, I love the sound of train horns. They're nice. It's what America was built on. Lady, that'd be awesome. Somebody does something boneheaded in front of you and you blast that, that'll make them think. I think I'm starting to fade. Did Bridge cut out of here? I rode the trains at DIA. Those were pretty slick. You guys want to do something interesting, go get on YouTube and read about the strange art at DIA. There you are. Go watch the YouTube video about the strange art at Denver International Airport. The one that shows adults wearing gas masks and kids of all different ethnicities in front of them. Like, what is all that about? And that was in there when it was built. Some people claim there are tunnels from DIA that go all the way down to Colorado Springs. I don't know if that's true. But they also said there's a big Mason stone. So you're familiar with it, Bridge. It is. It's creepy stuff. That's no joke. What was the reason for that? What was the reason they put that in there? No, I don't like it. I'm not in favor of it. I just didn't know if you guys had known. There's some crazy stuff. And the satanic horse that's out there. They said it was supposed to look like the Broncos horse. No, it doesn't. Looks like a demon-possessed horse. Hey, F55, how are you? Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 16 restless riders. I love that song. Arlo Guthrie sang that. It's about the demise of the rail. I want a caboose. If I was to have the perfect house, that even if I did have a wife, there would be plenty of room for us. Now, it wouldn't be huge. You could buy a long old caboose and make a very comfortable house out of that. Have an acre of property, have a little section of track, have it anchored, have your water line and your sewer. It'd be easy to heat and cool that space. Be better than a tiny house. Oh man, I'd love to have an old caboose. I think that'd be fun. That would be perfect. An eclectic house. Hello, Lady Sky. I just keep on it. I'm not a pig in my house. I don't have a bunch of bad habits. I'm all right. You too, Donita. I'm going to hit the hay here myself, Donita. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being a part of our chatteroo. That's what's fun. Lady, I think it'd be cute and charming. I think it'd be fun as all get out. And you put the bed up in the cupola. Of course, as I get older, I don't know if I want to climb steep hand steps to get up there, slip and fall and hurt yourself. Oh, stereo, now that'd be cool. I know, Donita, and I'm glad you're here. You have a good night. No, I don't, Diane. I'm not familiar with them. I was finishing up my laundry tonight and I had made a comment the other day in a video, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. And I played it. I was like, that was a good song. Wow, he's got a good lineup of cars there, Fahanda. I did a short of it. Now, it's not the original group, it's a cover. I did a short tonight of it. I thought about a school bus, but it'd be so expensive. It's very expensive to run those. The repairs are ridiculous. For the money, a Deuce is a better buy because what is that noise? That was weird. Also, the airport is not far from me. I saw the Blue Angels last summer flying over the house. I'd be in the yard and the shadow would go over me. They were low. I mean, I look up and there's the underbelly. You could see the writing and, man, the noise. Holy cow. I was in the tub after work and they were doing the air show. Oh, man, you just feel like these things are going to come through the house. Really, Dion. Well, Dion, I can't watch movies like that. I'm not a death guy. I'm not on blood and guts and gore. You know what? I saw that. I saw that, lady. Do you remember when you used to be now? I don't think you could do this in a big city, but in Mammoth, it was either Friday or Saturday night. You could call in and request a song. Well, folks, oh, I love the water chestnuts. They're so good. Thank you for coming, folks. Good to see people. Bridge, it was awesome having you in here. Diane, Honda, everybody else, Lady, Crafty Lady, Carden. You guys have a good night. And Stereo and Greg, and I can't keep up with all the names. Have you heard about the Lonesome Loser? Oh, yes. Little River Band. You gonna stay up all night, Bridge? You too, lady. Mwah. And thank you. Nikki, you just slid in here at the last second. What is going on? Now you're gonna make me feel guilty for hanging up. You too, Tish? Oh no. Is it storming over there? That's right, Dion. Yeah, it was a good one, you guys. Thanks for making it something. And Mr. Russell, I think you split already on me. I didn't even see you sneak out. Why is the power out, Nikki? Take care, Dion. I hope you got a way to keep warm, Nikki. I'm sorry about that. My fear here is the power goes out. They say we're supposed to get 0 wind chill down here. I'm like, 0? In Georgia? They may be hyping it up. Oh, I know you paid your bill, but is it storming? Did the neighborhood go out? I mean, you look out the window and tell if your neighbors and the street lights are off. Yeah, somebody said that. So cold here, I saw a lawyer with his hands in his own pocket. That is a good one. Continued prayers for Colette. Absolutely. And E-Rock and his wife must have turned in for the night. I got to call them tomorrow. Once I run my errands in the morning, I'm coming straight home. I'm not even going to the flea market. Last week, it was dead. They're probably not even going to show up tomorrow. I don't want to be out when it snows here. People can't drive when it's sunny. You think I want to be on here at Ballet on Ice? You might have too much on a socket. Well, go check it. You got a flashlight, Nikki? Wow. I hope you get it back on. Yeah, you too. Crafty lady, all of you, be careful. It's winter still. And it's been a little bit wild this year, at least down here. I'm tired. I'm off for 2 days. I'm good, but thank you. All right. Peace out, everybody. Sleep tight.